Michelle in Los Angeles, you're on the air with Congressman Pocan.
Thank you very much to both of you. I wanted to ask you about Egypt and the current protests that are going on and Trump's favorite dictator, Sisi, who is still in New York. Friday, there's another planned protest. They've arrested 1,500 people, 100,000 political prisoners since the coup in 2013, and we still give them $1.8 billion in military aid by taxpayers every year.
And I'm sorry, Michelle, what was the specific question?
Why are we continuing to do that? And is Congress going to speak out since you're holding the purse strings and about Sisi and his continued oppression?
Gotcha. Well, I mean, first of all, there's a lot of spots, right? We just had a hearing, and I'm asking why, we just pulled out our assistance in the West Bank and Gaza, and, we're getting reports. In fact, there's a UN report that said, I forgot the exact terminology, but basically it could be unlivable by next year in Gaza, and there's all kinds of areas that we're looking at. In this particular place, I mean, clearly, as you know, this president loves autocrats, and this is one of his allies, I guess, in that sense. But I couldn't tell you specifically with where the president is in this in Congress. We have a number of committees that look at this on the funding side. We right now are in our NDAA reauthorization process that's at conference committee. But I guess, Michelle, I don't have a more specific answer as far as directly related to the president on this.
Do you, if I can just ask a follow-up on that, do you know if the military aid to Egypt is, I recall, after the Camp David agreements with Jimmy Carter, that's when I thought it went up to like $3 billion each for Egypt and Israel, our foreign aid for those two countries, and that it was tied to their working out this peace agreement between these two countries. A, is my memory right? And B, if it is, to what extent is continuing aid to either country contingent on some echo from Camp David, or is that way back in the past and now it's just something we negotiate every year?
Yeah, so the first part, I wasn't here then, so I can't tell you if that was part of what was discussed at the time. I can tell you right now, we have very little attached to this aid whatsoever. And that's part of the problem. I mean, right now, specifically, I think many of us are anxious to see what kind of reorganized government Israel is going to have. But under Mr. Netanyahu, it is devolving on a very rapid basis to a point that many of us were starting to question the aid, given his actions and his comments, and what it could mean in that region for instability. I had someone, Thom, a professor from Gaza, in my office last week, and said that recently one of the things they're finding are suicide bombings against the Hamas police, because people are being further radicalized beyond Hamas because of the conditions that are existing in Gaza. That's why today I was questioning the USAID representative specifically on, are they even monitoring conditions right there? We pulled our assistance. 1.1 million people are on food assistance. 95 to 100% of the water is undrinkable. What are we doing in a situation like that? And yet we're still providing the assistance without any strings attached.
Yeah.